Hello, 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 and welcome to the CNC with Dave Gatton show. How's everybody doing tonight? I hope everybody is going to be safe from Dorian. Uh, I've had a lot of people ask me, uh, if I'm getting anything from it, and I've got absolutely nothing. It's still sunny and in the 90s here. In fact, you probably see me sweating here in a little bit because it is. As you can tell, I'm not in my office. I'm out here in the shop, so we can kind of demonstrate what we're going to be talking about tonight. And it is just check the thermometer over there on the wall, and it's about 90 degrees here in the garage. So got some fans on. Let me know if they get too loud. I'll turn them off. But until then, they're staying on. So anyhow, it's going to be a hot one. I want to remind everybody. Let me check over here in the comments real quick and turn them on and see. We've got StreamYard has done a really cool thing. They've now made it where the guests or the panelists can see the same comments that I see. So I can tell right away we've got a ton of people watching on YouTube. Jim Charis watching over there on Facebook. So all these comments come in at the same place and makes it really nice. So we lost Jim there for a second. We'll bring him back in. But yeah, it looks like we got Steve at Harnell Media, Troy Pritchard, Larry Duggar, Richard Kowalski, Wayne Hurl, Kevin Muir, Jim Cheers watching over on Facebook, Jeff Connor, Rick Nolan, Dave Clemens, Steve Atkins, Roger Jett, Dave Max over there on Facebook. How you doing, Dave? Landis Stutes is out there on YouTube. Yes.
Enough, I don't see comments on I'm comments. I don't see a single one.
I don't have any stuff, Dave. Can't hear anything.
You can't hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you. Can you hear me? Hello?
Okay. Can everybody out there that's watching hear me okay?
I can hear you.
Javi is bad. You're breaking up a little bit, Javi. I mean, let me know if you can't hear me. I'm hoping this is going to work. I've got, since I'm out here in the shop, I've got a laptop out here. I've got two laptops out here. One of them's on the Wi-Fi. It's going to be camera 2, where I can get a better view of showing you the machine back here. And this one that I'm on now is hardwired straight into my router. So should get a good signal out here. Yeah, Steve says Dave sounds good. Javi's a robot. Yeah, I think Javi's using, he's not hardwired. He's on just Wi-Fi or using his phone as a hotspot. One of the two. Okay, well, if I'm the only one you can hear, I guess that's okay. You just have to listen to me yak all night. Anyway, I want to remind everybody once again, we still have the ridiculous stepper motor knob challenge going on. Let's see. I'm trying to bring these folks back in here. So we've still got that going on. I've done a video to show you what it's about. I've got a playlist on my YouTube channel. There's like 4 entries so far, but I'm hoping to get some more. If you want to enter that ridiculous stepper motor knob challenge, you can shoot a short video and send it to me here at this email address, and that will be I'll add you to the playlist. And then on October 5th is when I'll be announcing the winner of that. So another thing too is 2 weeks from tonight, we're going to be doing a live drawing for the license plate. This one right here. So if you haven't already entered that, you can enter. There should, if you're watching on YouTube, which I know most of you are, there should be a link down in the description. If you want to enter to win that, like I said, the drawing's 2 weeks from tonight. And I see things are moving a little bit slower with this laptop than they do being in there on my desktop. And I tried to figure out a way to show how to do these work offsets and stuff in there in my office. I even brought the old, that board where I had all the stepper motors and the drivers and all that stuff hooked up. But it's just not the same when you don't have that visual reference of seeing the machine move to where it's going. So I decided to, suck it up, come out here in the heat, and drag all this stuff out here to set it up just for you guys. So hopefully you'll get something out of it here. Also, one more thing I want to mention before we get started is, and I know I'll probably take some flack for this, but let me see if I can find it here. We've got the Dave Gatton CNC Christmas Challenge coming up. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're probably thinking, Dave, come on, it's only September. We just had Labor Day. And I get that, but I've seen people post pictures of, when they go into stores and they've already got their Christmas stuff out. So it'll be here before you know it. Instead of waiting till the last minute to get an entry in, you can go ahead and get started now before it gets too cold to work in your shop, and record the video, and then just wait until the official start of it, which is on Black Friday. November 29th is when Black Friday is this year. And you must have your video submitted by 11:59 p.m. On December 24th. So get it in before the stroke of midnight on December 24th. And you'll be good to go. Let's see if I can get Javi back in here now.
Yeah, I'm refreshed. Hopefully I'm not roboting anymore.
Yeah, well, you're still a little robot-y, but I don't know if that's going to get any better with.
It might. It's the reception. I guess.
Yeah. We'll just see how. Yeah, I can't even make that out. It's so robotic. So anyway, let's take a quick look back over here at the comments. I think I have mentioned everything I was going to. Also, if you remember last week, we talked about this pendant. So we're going to be giving that away in the live drawing tonight. I've got everybody's name on that little spinning wheel, so it should be pretty cool to do that. And I had a lot more than what I thought. I was thinking there wasn't that many people doing it. And then I went to YouTube today and did the search, and I did it on Facebook. And I guess if you just put just the hashtag comment, it would put it in, for review. So I had to review it, and there was a whole bunch of them in there. So I've got everybody's name on the wheel. When I show that wheel later tonight, if you don't see your name on there, it is because you did not put the saying right. I put it up here last week. Where is it? Yeah, right here.
Yep.
It had to be just like that. Hashtag I need that pendant, no spaces. And once you type that in there, it should even turn blue where it's like a link. So if your name's not on there, it's because you didn't put it in there right. And you got to put it in there like that, because when I do the search, it doesn't find it if you don't put it in there right. If you put hashtag space, I space need, blah, 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 it doesn't work. it's got to be, the hashtags work like that. There's got to be no spaces. So sorry if you miss out this time, but now you know. Make sure you get it right. And I even went back and put a comment, I know Hobby did as well on YouTube, trying to show people, hey, Dave's not going to find this if you don't put it the right way. So
How about now? Is it any better by any chance?
Yes.
Right this second, you sound pretty good.
Okay, good. Yeah, I moved it around. I have a feeling, Dave, that the new live comments is taking that little extra bandwidth, or it might just be my reception. But all I see are 3 comments so far. Mine doesn't seem to be working.
Well, I don't know. Since it's web based, I don't know how that works. I'm seeing a whole bunch of them the whole thing.
When I first came in, it was fine, but then they stopped. So I guess I'll.
Well, the last one was made at maybe it's just that.
Was the last one Del Ludlam?
At what time? Can you see a timestamp on it?
Yeah. 8:06.
Oh, there's a bunch more after that. Yeah, Dale Ludlam scrolled all the way down. We're at like 8:11, and I got Bruce Sewing, I guess. I'm not sure how you pronounce that. How you doing, Bruce? David Crooks in the house. John Revel all the way from Australia. Rob Hampton, I believe he's down under as well. Andrew Haig, David Crook, Troy Howell. He says R2D Hobby. So, anyway, and if you guys see me scratching, it's because I'm out here and there's mosquitoes. It wasn't bad until it got so unbearably hot right before I went live that I thought, well, let me open this door for just a second, and I probably shouldn't have done that because now I've just let mosquitoes in and they're tearing me up, which they usually do. And it's going to be a long night. I got a bottle of water, and I got the big boy out here tonight full of ice. So it's going to be a long one. All right, let me check my notes here, make sure I haven't forgotten anything. We've talked about the Christmas challenge. We've talked about the stepper motor knob challenge. We've talked about the guitar giveaway. I think we're all up to speed here. And again, I'm going to try to make this not a super long show. I'm going to try to be wrapping up around 9 where we can do that drawing real quick for the pendant, and then we'll get out of here. Wayne Hurl says, we appreciate your sacrifice, Dave. Now, I'm going to tell you, it's a warm one out here. Now, I wasn't thinking, I was out here last evening, and it wasn't that bad. Of course, maybe I was standing more over that way with that. I got a fan, if you can see it right there, but it blows over there. It's not blowing over here. I should have angled that fan over a little bit or something. But anyhow, we're going to be talking about work offsets. I saw somebody, I don't remember who, because it's been a week or so ago. But, this is how I get a lot of my show material is seeing comments and questions and stuff on Facebook. So somebody was asking if there was a way where when they start up their machine, they can make it go to a certain spot every time. So we're going to be talking about work offsets and trying to show you stuff like that. I wanted to show something real quick. And again, I'm trying to, once the stream starts, everything's kind of laggy, even for me. I've got this laptop and I've also got it connected to a second monitor so that I can put other stuff over there for the screen share stuff. But how many out there have actually, well, first of all, I know a bunch of y'all are using Mach 3, but of the ones that are using Mach 3 as your software, how many of y'all have a copy of, maybe not printed out because it's too many pages, but have a copy of the manual and go to it, try to find answers to your stuff? I'd be willing to bet there's probably not many because it's a pretty big thing here. But I'm going to show this one page here. And if you look right in here, let me get my mouse over here. This is right here is what we're going to be talking about tonight. The optional offset save. It says if checked, will prompt to verify that you want to actually do any save requested in persistent offsets. The persistent offset, if checked, will save the work and tool offsets in the permanent table that you have selected between the runs of Mach 3, or, they say in Mach 3 mill, but it means whatever profile you're using. And then the persistent DROs, if checked, the axis DROs, which means digital readout, will have the same values on startup as when Mach 3 is closed down. Note that the positions of the physical axis are unlikely to be preserved if the machine tool is powered down, especially with micro stepper drives. Now, for the Gatton type machines that use the lead screws and all, that there's really no slop. So when you shut it down, it'll probably stay in the position where it's, unless you just grab a screw and start turning something, it's probably going to stay right where it's at. But anyway, we're going to show how to do, how to get it to go to a certain position all the time. And that's if you have limit switches, or I should say homing switches, or if you don't have homing switches. I'm going to show you both ways. But that's kind of why I did that poll. I set it up, I don't know, probably Tuesday or Wednesday, I think, in Facebook. And one thing I've learned about putting polls in Facebook, the biggest thing I've learned is that people don't know how to take polls. So I get people that, have one machine and they're answering, because I always put the same identical thing in the Gatton CNC Facebook group and the GarageWorks CNC Facebook group. And for this particular question, it didn't really matter whether you had one or the other. You might have an X card or, Shapeoko or whatever. It wasn't really a Gatton or GarageWorks CNC question, but I put it both places because not everybody is in both groups. But I saw a lot of people that answered in one group and then would go over to the other group and answer again. And I'm like, I'm getting my results all skewed there. But anyhow, we had in the Gatton, we had like 54 people said yes, they have them. 37 say no, they don't have them. And then 26 people said they don't have them, but they're planning on adding them in the future. In the GarageWorks, we had 25 people that said they had them, 24 that said they didn't have them, and 4 people that said they would add them. So for the total, there were 79 that said yes, they have them, 61 that said no, they don't have them, and then 30 that said they plan on adding them. So you can see the limit switches are kind of a popular thing, I would guess. And, they're good to have. In fact, if I can just tell you a quick story, I was out here running something just yesterday, and I still really don't know what happened. I think that because it's been so dadgum hot out here, that a lot of times we'll have these really quick, just power off on, a split second. You don't even hardly know, unless you're staring at the light, you won't even notice that it's flickered. But twice yesterday when I was running my machine, for whatever reason, I assume it was a little power flicker or whatever, but I lost the connection with my UC100, and I didn't panic. I was able to save it both times because I have homing switches, and using work offsets, it makes it super easy where you don't ever have to worry about that. But you can also do it without limits or homing switches, I should say. So I'm going to show that way as well, since there are a bunch of people that don't have them. I want to say hi to my buddy Greg Hamilton. He's over there watching on Facebook. How you doing, Greg? I just happened to realize it's there because I have 2 friends that are Greg Hamiltons. So it's the Greg Hamilton is Hitch down there in Florida. he spells his name with 2 G's instead of 1. The other guy spells it with 1. So when I first looked at it, I thought it was the one in Conyers. But George is also watching on Facebook. Glad y'all are tuning in. Thank you so much for checking us out here. All right, let me and I guess I still got one more I didn't read here. The last one here is copy G54, which is the first offset from G59.253 on startup if checked, and we'll initialize the G54 offset, the work offset values from the work offset 253 when Mach 3 is started. And let me see if I can bring up, I've got Mach 3 over here somewhere. I want to show you where we're talking about here. Some of you probably know, but when you go to config and general configuration, right down here in this lower right-hand corner, you can see the mouse cursor there, and you can see that I usually keep the optional offset save, the persistent offsets, and the persistent digital readouts checked. I'm pretty sure now this, of course, I'm looking at what's on my laptop here. I'm not looking at back here on my controller, but I'm pretty sure it's the same ones. But anyway, without any further yakking here, let me turn this back off, and we will try to show you. I've already got the machine. As you can see, I've already got Mach 3, and I don't know how good you'll be able to see this. I'm going to try to step out of the way, but that's why I was showing you. Well, let me close this real quick. And if I go to the 4th tab over, let me screen share that again real quick, just so people know where I'm going to be going. Okay, up here at the top, you got program run, MDI, toolpath, and then offsets is the 4th one over. So right over here is where I'm going to be talking about. So like again, I think you might be able to see it from here. I'll enlarge myself when I do this, and then I also have another camera set up where you can see the machine move. So we'll kind of have to split it. I really wish, in fact, I think I'm going to put a request into the folks at StreamYard to add the option of having the screen split with 2 big things, because right now you can solo one person and they take up the whole screen, or I can do myself.
And Dave, while you're at it, ask StreamYard if they can get rid of that stupid "your mic is muted" button right in the middle, because when your panelists, like I was hearing a bit of clicking from Jim's mic intermittently, and then my AC. When your panelists mute for to keep the show going, I see a big huge block. There's
already been. I know that's already on their list, because there's some people that don't like that either. I guess they do that so that it's right there in front of you, and you can't start talking and not know you're muted, because so I kind of get that, but it'd be nice too if
they could see the show, because most shows, I mean, I know there's a couple other shows similar to yours that the panelists, the host asks them all to mute, so it doesn't get confusing.
Yeah. Well, see, this is the one view I have. I can make myself the big one, and then the guest small, or I can just click if I can do it here, I can click myself and do the solo layout.
Yeah.
And go, and it's really dragging tonight because there we go. So now I'm big, but what I would really like just for this particular show, and probably a lot of future ones too, is I need to have really 2 big panes to show what I'm doing here and what the other camera sees too. So, because I'm probably going to have to do it twice because the camera 2 will be little the first time, and then I'll just have to keep going back and forth so everybody can see what's going on. So let's get started without any. I'm going to leave this on so I can bring that back on the screen if you want. So if anybody has any questions, and if anybody does have any questions, if you can't see something or whatever, just hang tight, because I'll be flipping it around and showing it bigger. And then, and then if you can't see it, let me know. Or if you have any questions, make sure you put them in the chat. I'll be having my back turned a lot, but Javi and Jim will let me know. Jim, can you see the comments right there in StreamYard? Have you hit the comment tab, over where the private chat is? There should be one that says comments.
You're still muted, Jim.
Okay, I got it.
Okay, do you see the comments now?
Yes.
Okay, good. And you should see some that have Facebook and some that have YouTube. And I'm pretty sure there's not any from Twitch or Periscope as usual, but you never know. Somebody may straggle in here from there one day. But anyhow, just let me know if you have any, or if anybody pops up with a question. All right, so I'm going to turn this on. I've got I had this part on, but I didn't have my dry box turned on. So I've got that turned on, and I'm going to add this other camera. I know it's not going to be super big, but there's the other camera. So you should see the machine. And right now, the gantry is all the way to the back and the right. That's where I put my homing switches, and that's where I like to park my gantry. And that's my home position. So, and again, I'm going to try to get where you can see this. I'm pushing the reference all home button. And you may have heard, or maybe you can see it, the machine referenced itself. So if I come over here to my machine coordinates, again, I don't know how, you may not be able to see this, but they're all zeroed out. And I have some weird looking numbers in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to set up these offsets. I've got some little blocks of wood here. And you may not even be able to see that, but I wrote on there G56. I got G55, 56, 57, and 58 written on these little blocks. So I'm going to go through, and again, I guess you can see that camera 2 is not too bad because it's a quarter of the screen. So anyway, I'm going to jog this up, and this would be like if you had a fixture made, that a big fixture, and you wanted to run 4 different projects. You could just clamp that fixture down and use, in the lower left, you could use that 0 for one project, move up and do the next project and another one. And that way you don't have to take your fixture off. You can just bolt your fixture down and leave it, especially if you've got a fixture made where it's got pockets where you can set your blank down in, or maybe you have little, I don't know what they call those little toggle clamp things to hold it down or whatever. It'll make it real easy where you could set your fixture on there and leave it, and then just use these different offsets to go to the different places. So I'm probably going to be out of camera. Can you still hear me, Javi, when I'm turned this way?
Yes, yes, I can.
Okay. I'm going to try to talk louder because I know I've got my back to y'all. But I'm going to jog this forward and over to the left. And I'm just going to pick just some random spots here. And I'm going to set this little wood block here, G55. So I'm going to set that, and that where that little B bit is pointing That's on the lower left-hand corner of that G55 block. So that's going to represent the first little area. You know, it could be like a 12 by 12 or whatever size fixture you have mounted there. Okay. Now what I'm going to do, and I'm going to have to just say what I'm doing because I know you're probably not going to be able to read this, but we'll go back over it. I can do the screen share and show you the same thing on that other thing if I need to. So I'm going to come over here and go to offsets, and I'm going to hit the first one I said was G55. So I'm pushing where it says active offset. I'm going to push G55 until I see G55 in the active offset. Then over here on the right where it says the coordinates, there's some funky numbers in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the 0x, 0y, and the 0z. Okay. Then I'm going to go ahead and jog to the next spot that I want. So I'm going to move it straight up. I'm going to go real far, and I'm going to set this one. So now I've got the lower left-hand corner of G56. So now I'll come back over here to the offset tab, and I'll hit where it says fixture 3, G56. I press that button, and again, I hope I'm not standing in the way. I'll hit 0x, 0y, and 0z. Okay, so that's 55 and 56. Now I'm going to bring it over here to the right a little bit, and I'm going to set my G57 right there. I don't know, can you see that pretty good with that other camera or no?
Yeah,
you can.
absolutely.
Okay,
It looks
okay. It's pretty good, I guess. All right, so that's G57. So now I'm going to come back over here again to this offset tab, and I'm going to hit fixture 4 where it says G57. So now that's the active offset, and then I'm going to hit 0x, 0y, 0z. Are you starting to see a pattern here? Okay, now I'm going to bring it down back towards the front of the machine. And again, I'm just stopping just any old place. I'm not really. Okay, so now I'm going to put that one on the lower left-hand corner of G58. And again, I come over here to fixture 5 where it says G58. I hit that to make that the active work offset, and then I hit 0, 0, and 0. Okay, so now if I come back over here, you don't want to touch anything on here. You don't want to zero anything out or you know, hit reference. You don't want to touch any of that stuff. You've got your offset set up the way you want. Okay, so now, right now, the machine is on this one on the lower right. It's at the G58 offset. But if I want to tell it to go to the one on the upper left, which was G56, I can come over here to the offsets. I can hit that. Over here in this little box where it says active work offset, I hit 56. Then I come back over to program run, and I hit go to 0. And it goes over to find that location that I just set up for 56. If I want to come down to the lower left, that was G55. I come over and make G55 the active offset, come back over to program run. And again, I'm not hitting any of these zeros here. I just hit go to 0. And now we'll come up to the lower left. Okay, the only one we haven't been to now is G57, so I'll hit the offset tab again. Hit fixture 4, which is G57. Come back to program run. Hit go to 0. and it'll run over there to where G57 is. Now I just put 4, but you could put up to like 250 some odd work offsets. I don't know how in the heck you'd ever keep track of that many, but you can do it. So anyhow, that is how you do it with using offsets. Now you'll notice that I skipped G54, and that's because if I come over here to offsets and hit fixture 1, which is G54, it's already got another number. That's an offset I already had in there. So if I come over here and hit that, and you come go to 0, there it is, right in the middle of the table. So see that you could set up these different work offsets for, you know, for example, I have something that runs the Gatton CNC kits. It's program where it's not quite where that is, but a little farther up, and it'll be the G54 offset. So when I turn it on and I just hit go to 0 after I've hit reference all home, because once it knows that 000 is back here on the back right, all I got to do is hit that go to 0, and it by default will use that G54 offset and come right up to the center where I have my blanks for the Gatton CNC. But I wanted to show you how you can set up different ones. And again, you can go to them at any time. I'll come back over here and we'll go back over here to 58, which is this one right over here on the corner. And there we go. So I know that was a little bit kind of fast, but does anybody have any questions? I don't see any over there. Rob Schuster says Linux CNC can only do 10 offsets, which is more than I need. Yeah, I don't really know why. I mean, I guess for an industrial environment where you might have a lot of jobs, and I think when you go to your offset table, you can probably put a note and say, you could say, well, that's for part blah, 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 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever. And you could, set them up that way. But it's really not hard. You just have to remember that when you set them on that tab, don't come over here and, because a lot of people are used to moving it where they want and then hitting 0 there. Well, it should already be zeros. And if you can see it too, you notice all the green lights are on. So it's still, if I tell it reference home, it knows to go back that way. And plus I can send it to any of the 5 work offsets that I have set up. Now, since I don't see any questions over there, that's how it works using homing switches. Now, what if you don't have homing switches? You can still do it, and I'm going to show you how. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my drive box off, and then I'm going to close this out. Now you notice it come up and it says fixture save. If I hit yes, it's going to save all that stuff. So it'll now save all those offsets that I was using. Okay, so now I'm going to come back over here and I'm going to open up this, but I'm going to open up a different profile. Oops. Come on, push touch screen. Now this profile, I guess I'll check just to make sure. Yeah, it has the homing switches turned off. So it's not using. So you can see when I open this up, it says it's all zeros here, but really you see where the machine is, it doesn't really know where it's at. But if you don't have any homing switches, you can fire up your machine And really all you have to do is pick a spot on your machine that you want to use as a reference point. Some of you guys may have like the L-shaped little bracket things where you put your work on and then, slide it down in there. You can put a hole in that or something to use. Just as long as you have a point somewhere on that machine that you can say, okay, this is 0. This is what I'm going to call 0, 0, 0 on my machine. So I've got this one fired up here, and again, there's no green lights, nothing's referenced on. And I'm just going to jog this thing. And I'm just going to pick a spot like probably a lot of you would. I'm just going to call that right there. I'm going to call that my 0. It's kind of in the lower left-hand corner of the machine. Now, you could put like a 1/4-inch end mill or something and, come down and make you a little hole in the table so that every time you do it, you could carefully line that up with that hole and then hit your reference all home here. And you notice it all goes to zeros and now it's all green. So it's, even though there's no homing switches on there, it's saying, okay, that is the home position for this machine. If I come over here and hit machine coordinates, it's all zeros there too. Okay, so again, now that I've got that established, that's my home position for a machine without homing switches. Now I'm going to come back and I'm going to jog and get over that little block of wood again. That's close enough for government work here. I'm going to come over here to my offsets. And I'm going to hit G55, make that active. And now if you remembered what those other numbers were, now there's much smaller numbers because everything is coming off that lower left instead of coming from the back right. So these numbers are real small. So I'm going to hit 0, 0. Then I'm going to come back over here and jog it back there to where 56 was. That's close enough. Then I'll hit fixture 56. 0, 0, 0 there. Then I'll come over here. Okay, what did I call that? 57. So I go to 57. Okay. I hope I did that last one right, because this touchscreen doesn't work. Sometimes when you push, it hits the button next to it. I hope I did it right. We'll find out, because if it goes crazy, we'll know. Okay, so I'm going to zero out this one. This is 57. And then I'll bring it down here. All that close enough for that one. And it's going to be fixture 5, G58. And I'll hit 0, 0, and 0. Okay. So now if I want to go back to that first one, I can hit G55, making that the active offset. Come back over here to program run. You go to 0, and it goes over there. Stops on that one. Now we're going to find out if I did that other one right here. All right, so the next one will be 56. Yeah, I think that's right. All right, so we'll come over here and we'll hit go to 0. It goes to that one. Come over here and hit 57. Back, hit go to 0. Is camera 2 locked up, or 'Cause it looks like it's
Camera 2 did not, it's up there now, Dave.
okay. It's just got some lag to it, I guess. But, trying to. I mean, I'm hardwired on this laptop, but that was on Wi-Fi, so it's probably struggling a little bit. That's an old laptop that I got from Michael Chipster, so it's got a few miles on it. All right, so we'll go one more here. We'll do the offset. Go to G58. And we'll make it full circle here. Hit go to 0. Yeah, it looks like it's kind of jumping around, but hopefully y'all get the gist of it, how these offsets work. So again, all you have to do, even if you don't have homing switches, is pick a spot on your machine and say, okay, if the power goes out or anything, I'm going to move it to that spot and hit reference all home, and that's going to be my 0. And then all those other offsets that you saved in that permanent table, you should be able to make them the active offset, hit go to 0, and it should go right to it. So it's the same thing really as having the homing switches.
Hey, Dave, you got 2 questions here, Dave.
Okay.
Wayne Hart wants to know, can you rename the offsets?
Let me see. I think when you go to save work offsets on this button over here. Okay. Let me share this screen so y'all can see what I'm doing over here. And again, this thing, it takes a minute. Okay, there we go. Okay, so what I did is I came over here and I hit save work offsets, and this window pops open. So here's what I was talking about. It will tell you, now obviously these are all 0 because this is not the one back here that I'm using for the machine. But see, you have a name here, so you can call it, I mean, you don't really need to put G54 there because it says it's right there. So you could say this is for part number, 1, 2, 3, 4, or whatever. So yeah, you can put your own name and call that work offset. You might want to say this is lower left, this is upper left, this is upper right, and this is lower right, or whatever kind of names you want to put on it, you can do it. So what was the
second question, Dave, is from Ryan Ballard. So Dave, when your machine parks in the back corner, did you just set the Z height so that no matter what bit is in it, it won't clip the foil board?
Well, when I park it in the corner, when I hit reference all home, and since you've asked that, Ryan, I'll do that back here. I'll hit reference on all home. And actually, before I do that, let me move this over here where you can see it in the camera. Okay, now I've got that over in the camera where you can see it good. So you'll notice when I hit reference all home, the first thing that happens is the Z goes up. And I've got my homing switch pretty high because I run some bits. I run a 1/2 inch bit that's got a 2 inch cutting length. The whole length of that bit is probably more than 3 inches or so. But when I hit reference all home, oh, wait a minute. I forgot I'm in the profile that doesn't have, I was just doing the one that doesn't have them. So let me go back here. And I will bring open the Gatton CNC one. This is the one I use most of the time. Okay, now let's turn the driver box back on. Okay, now when I hit reference all home, you'll see the first thing that happens is the Z goes up pretty high. So you can see without a bit, there's probably, well, I don't know where I'm taking it. Yeah, without a bit, there's about 6 inches of clearance. So even if I have my longest bit there, it's going to go up tall enough that it clears my clamps by a good bit. Would it show on screen as the saved name? Well, let's see. Let me try to put one in here. And I'm going to put, I'm just going to call it Dave. And that's on the G55. So, oh, I'm bending my flag up over there. There it goes. Well, one of them. Sometimes when I run it and that I'm all the way over to that side. There we go. I have to make sure it doesn't hang on the flag. All right, so let's see here if I hit. Now, I don't know where it would say, because I named G55. I put out there Dave, but when I hit G55 here, and let me put it on here where y'all can see it. Let me bring Hobby back in. I didn't realize he was. Yeah, you can see it still says G55 there. So even though I have hit this and I put my name right here at Dave, I think that's just a reference. So when you're looking here to save them, you can see what they're for. So I don't see how it would put that anywhere. Let's see, Kevin.
I'm definitely going to order some internet for this place.
Kevin has a question here. If you had a part that required machining on 4 sides and you wanted to move your blank from one jig to the next, making the required flip for each jig, would you use offsets or a different method? I suppose you could use that way. I'm not a machinist. I would probably, hi Sandy, I see Sandy Gibson's out there on Facebook. How you doing? Yeah, I guess as long as your jig was flat and true, you could move it. But I would think if you're doing it on all 4 sides, you would want to keep it in the same spot as you flip it over, so that you know exactly what that thickness is. Especially on a router table like this. On a mill, it'd probably be different, but that would be my guess. See, Ryan Ballard says, let me turn this back off. So not just X and Y switches, but a Z as well, which gets it as far away as you can. Got you. Yeah, some people like to put limit. And, when you put a switch on there, I only have them 3 places. I have one on the lower right here for the Y, and I have one up on top of the Z when it goes up. And then I also have one over here on the far right for the X. So I only have 3 homing switches and they're all on the right side, because when I home it, that's where I want it to go. But I can also turn those 3 switches on to act as a limit switch as well. So if for some stupid reason I would start something out too far, say I start something on the center of the table and it's going to go so far to the right, if it trips that switch and I've got that switch that I use for a homing switch to be used also for a over travel or a limit switch, it will stop without hurting anything. You know, like I said, a lot of guys try to put 6 of them. They'll put one on the upper part of the Z, one on the bottom part of the Z. I don't really see a need for one on the bottom part of the Z because it's going to stop when it hits the table.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's got kind of a built-in hard stop right there. So
yeah, the problem is, where would you put it? Where would you put it on the bottom of the Z? Am I still roboting, or can you hear me well?
Yeah, I can hear you. I don't know where you put it, but I have seen guys that use six switches. They put one at the top, one at the
same
bottom,
here.
put one on the right and one on the left, and then they also put one on each side of the, well,
Of the Y.
some of them will put one on each side of that to align the gantry, and then others will put one in the front and one in the back, you know, in case you over travel coming forward. You know, if you know what you're doing and you got just even a little bit of common sense, I don't really see any need for those other limit switches. I like to, you know, now since I have my 3, I do go ahead and turn them on as a limit switch just because it doesn't hurt. They're already on there. They're already wired. I might as well have it turned on. But I really only use them for the homing of the machine to go find my machine 00. So,
Yeah.
all right, we're almost at 9 o'clock here, and we've got.
Can I ask a question?
Okay.
How did you show the offsets again? I missed it because a block was in the middle of my screen when I had my mic off.
Okay. Well, let me turn this on, and I'll demonstrate on this here, because now you can see this bigger. I know you can't really see this one back here, but what I would do is I jog this to a position wherever, and then I come over here to the offsets, and then if I want to set G55, you just press this button to make whichever one you're trying to set active. So if I want, well, let's make a different one. Let's set this at G57, and then I come over here and I hit this, this, and this. And then you would come back over here, and the G57 is still active. So if I hit this, it would go to it. Now this one isn't hooked up to anything, so it's not going to work. But just so you can see what buttons I was hitting back here, that's what I was doing. I set this up, zero this out here on the X, Y, and Z, and then I would move it to the next spot. If I wanted to hit G56, I would hit that, and then I would come and hit 0, 0, and 0.
Well, my question is, Dave, did you push on your reference all home? You have a machine chords. Did you press that to see all of the coordinates, like 54, 55, 56, and 57?
All right, I didn't catch all of that.
Okay.
Something about when I'm telling the machine to go back home?
No, sir. You showed a list of all of the G54, 55, you know, with the name in it and everything. What button did you pick to get that display?
Oh, that little box.
Oh, right there.
I hit save work offsets, and then that pops up, and that'll show you all the ones you have saved.
Okay, thank you.
And as you can see, if I grab this down, you can see you got a bunch of them, because you can use 59 and then put P whatever, and it goes all the way up to 253. So that's why I say you can have, see, the first one starts out, you got a G59. I can get this to G59. Then you got G59, P7, P8, P9, so on and so forth, all the way up to 253. So you've got more offsets than you probably ever need as a hobbyist. That's why I'm only, I only showed how to do there's basically 6 that are here right here, 1 through 6, G54 through G59. And that'll probably be more than anybody as a hobbyist would ever use. So,
Well, as you know, I use the offset for the laser. So if I wanted to, say for instance, Vectric has the offset capability within its software. But say I forgot to put it into the program and now I want to have my laser offset. So I should set it up in one of these G things, you know, with the standard offset between the bit and the laser beam.
yeah, you can do that. It's really easiest to do just to use the offset that's in Vectric when
Well,
you're
I agree
programming.
100% with that, but you know, hey, I'm getting pretty old, and sometimes I get excited and I forget to put the
Well,
offset.
I get you. And I don't know, you probably can't read this right here because it's kind of faded. But I have right here, it says laser offset. My X is 3.547 and my Y is negative 3.0725. So that's the numbers I put in Vectric for the offset for the laser. That way, if I want to have my my 0, set it in the middle of a blank or something, I can use the router to set it and just have that offset. Or I can not put an offset in there at all and just turn on the laser beam and zero it out with that. Either way. Or you could use a work offset here in Mach 3 if you wanted. But I think probably most people probably zero it with the laser turned on low and jog it there. That's usually how I do it. I did this. I started shooting a video on how to determine what your offset is when you've got your laser around to the side. And I shot some video, and I never have edited it and released it, but I still have that number right there.
Yeah, I do too, and it works great when you put it in with the Vectric software offset. It's just if I forget it.
Okay, I'm going to try to get set up for this drawing here. We're going to do that drawing and give the pins it away. And again, like I said at the top of the show, I tried to get everybody's name, but everybody's name that I put on there are the ones that did the hashtag the correct way. Because when I did the search, I don't find it if it's the other way. And I wasn't going to go through digging them up. That's why I did the hashtag thing, so I would make it easier for me to just search it, find it, get the list of names, and put them on a wheel. So if you didn't do it correctly, sorry, that's all I can say. I made it as easy as I could. I made it as easy as I could because and I even put in the description. I replied to some of the comments that I saw where it was wrong, and I said, "Hey, go back to the 1 hour and 5 minute mark, and you'll see where I show this, and that's how you need to put it." And people still got it wrong. So learn how to do a hashtag, folks. Most everybody did. So let me
spaces, folks. No spaces.
Let me see if I can get this. It may take me a minute, as slow as these computers on, so we'll fill some time if anybody's got any questions. I don't see any. You guys look over there while I'm trying to do this, and if anybody's got anything, or if we just need to. Let's see if I can do this. Now, everybody's being quiet. Don't fill in that dead air.
Well, Dave, there's a little conversation going on about using soft limits if you don't have preset homing switches. That if you happen to move your machine off, your soft limits won't work correctly.
Yeah, I guess I could do a show on soft limits. Personally, I think they're a waste of time. Kind of like the same reason I think putting a limit switch on the other side, to me that's a waste of time. But I could show how to do it. I've tried using them before, and I don't really like them. Let's see if I can get this thing to get in the middle of the screen here. Okay, I've got it. I got the wheel ready to go. Again, I don't even remember how many names I put on here. I think there was like 35 or 30 to 35 names or something like that on here. But we're, the way this works, the same way I do all these giveaways. As a matter of fact, I'm going to get my phone ready to set the timer because I know there's a little bit of a lag. If we spin the wheel and whoever it pops up and says it's the winner, and you'll hear the little applause and all that, you'll have 90 seconds to enter a comment. If you're watching on Facebook, you can enter it there. If you're watching on YouTube, you can enter it there. Wherever you're watching, comment, say, hey, I'm here, I'm watching live, and you will win. If you're not watching live, which if you aren't, you're not hearing me say this, you're going to miss out if this thing draws your name. So we'll spin it. We'll give it a spin. Whoever it picks will have 90 seconds. Let's see if I can get this set here. Well, okay, there we go. Nope. Okay, there we go. We got a minute. Oh, wait a minute. 1 minute. Okay, 1 minute, 30 seconds, 90 seconds from the time I announce the name, or y'all will probably see it, I guess, when we do the little spinny wheel. So here we go. Like I said, we got a list of names over here. Everybody's got their own little pretty color. So here we go. This will be the first attempt to give away the pendant that I showed last week. Is everybody ready?
Yep.
Okay, Ryan Ballard, if he is still out there,
Woo-hoo!
and I see him, he's already put Wheel of Dave. So yeah, Ryan, let us know if you're still here watching live, and you will be the winner of the cool little Mach 3 pendant that I showed off last
Yep.
week.
There he is. He knows he won.
Okay. Well, congratulations, Ryan. I can't believe used to when I give away stuff, there'd always be folks that enter and then don't watch. But it seems like every time now, whether it's a guitar or other stuff, people are watching, which that's a good thing. I'm glad people are watching. But just interesting. Yeah, I didn't even have to bother setting the timer on that one. So, all right. So I'm going to turn this back off. We're done with camera 2, I guess. We're going to wrap this up. It's a little after 9, and I hope everybody got something out of this. I hope they enjoyed this. If you did enjoy it, please leave me a thumbs up. That'll make it worth standing out here in this this heat for, because it is hot out here. But anyway, I thank you all for tuning in and watching. And one more thing. I'm going to have one more thing, right? If there is anybody out there that does not have homing switches and or an e-stop. If you want to try to win a set, now this has only got 3 in it, but I'm going to give away a set of 6 limit/homing switches. These are exactly the same kind I use, which if you want to buy these, don't want to wait to see if you can win them. There's links for this down in the description. So I'm going to give a set of 6 limit switches and an e-stop, just like this. Now it won't have wire attached. This is mine, but I will give away those. And what I'm going to do is, I know there's some folks that watch from down under and different places, and I want to include y'all in the giveaways too. So what I'm going to do is, say for instance, somebody that lives in Australia wins. If you can go to your Amazon Prime or whatever and buy this and the limit switches, I'll pay you, make a payment, you know, PayPal payment or whatever, for buying them. All you got to do is show me that you bought them, and that way you're still kind of included in the drawing. Because really, when you try to ship anything anywhere than the U.S., and even for me, shipping all the way to the left coast gets a little pricey. But here's what you got to do to enter to win the drawing next week, which will be the set of 6 limit switches and an e-stop. And for you folks that don't know how to do a hashtag, there it is. Hashtag e-stop switch, no spaces. So let's see if I can get Javi back in here. There we go.
I'm back.
Okay, you got it. Hashtag e-stop switch, no spaces. Put that in the comment. And again, don't put it in the chat. The search won't find them in the chat. It only finds them in the comments. So if you're on YouTube right now in the chat, you can put it, but it won't count because you got to wait until this comes back as a video and put it in the comment section. So that's how you see. Dave Clem is already putting it here in the chat. That's not going to count. You got it right this time, but you got to put it in the comment section, not in the chat comment section. The comment section of the video for YouTube. Or if you're on Facebook, you put it in that comment thing. But if you put the hashtag correctly, when I do the search, I can find them. And I can tell you right now, that's the only one that's getting in the drawing is the ones that do it right. Because I got to make it easy for me to find them. If you don't do it right and I can't find them, too bad. So I guess that's about all I got. Javi, you got anything you want to try to talk about? I know you haven't had good luck with your connection tonight, and maybe it's because of the extra stuff.
I don't know. I have a feeling it's the live comments is demanding more bandwidth, or might just be the weather. But we were speaking perfectly fine to each other prior to going live.
Yeah. Well, you know, that's always frustrated me trying to do stuff with Wi-Fi. Is, well, just like today when I was setting all this up, I set up that other computer with camera 2, and of course it's on Wi-Fi. Well, when it was just me doing a test run, everything runs smooth. When that machine moved, it was nice and smooth. And see, now here when we're doing it live, there's all this other stuff going on, comments coming in and different things. It you know, it drags it down a little bit, and it got a little choppy. But anyway, thanks everybody. I hadn't even paid any attention to see how many we got watching tonight, but from the looks of the chat, we had a good crowd. I appreciate y'all. Like I said, if you enjoyed this, please hit the thumbs up. If you're not already subscribed, you'll want to subscribe and hit that notification bell. So because the way I did it tonight is I just hit go live. I didn't schedule anything. I found out, I thought I was doing something wrong. And that's why when we go to YouTube, the link that I thought was good, it would open up another. Well, I found out I wasn't really doing anything wrong. That's the way Restream works. It creates a new stream when you hit go live. So even though I was scheduling something, it creates a new one. So I'm just going to do it the way I did tonight. I'll start like 5 minutes ahead, put that banner up and go live. And then that way you'll get a notification. You got time to get you a drink and get your easy chair and sit down and watch, and you'll be good to go. There won't be any chasing links and stuff like that. So, all right. Well, if anybody or nobody has anything else to say, I guess all that's left to do is say good night. Again, thank you all for watching. Thank you, Javi, for joining me. Thank you, Mr. Jim. I'll be seeing you in the after show here in just a bit. So good night, everybody, and have a great weekend.